Hello and welcome to Comics in Quarantine, solving problems. What the heck is going on, Eric? What are you doing?
Hey.
Oh god.
Oh. You know, like here. Oh hey guys, it's my friend school. All right. Here. There you go. This room fine, Steve. I should be fine now. Sorry, it's my birthday.
What the heck?
Hello, Bo. All right, I'll talk to you later. Don't worry. I mean, I know a lot of people, and it feels like we've broken quarantine and stuff, but we don't have any unexpected guests whatsoever. So, because it's my birthday.
Yeah, it's your birthday, is it? It's gonna be a birthday themed event, is it? What is going on with that hat as well? That is the stupidest hat I've ever seen.
It's birthday.
It's
My birthday top. It is celebrating birth, and my wife won't anytime because she hates birthday.
yeah. Well, it looks full on ridiculous. Right. Well, so his hat is knackering the signal. So yeah, it's a bit jumpy. I think the special effects are causing a problem. Says Mark. Happy birthday, says Anthony. Happy birthday, says Mark Randall. Sharon says happy birthday, Eric. Eleanor says happy quarantine birthday. Did you know you share your birthday with Jeffrey Dahmer? Good opener. Noel Fielding and the Notorious B.I.G. I'd have done those in a different order, but that is a strong opening. And Chris says happy birthday, Eric.
Thank you, and it's good to be here. I'll be back later. But yeah,
Stop. I think the special effects are putting a bit of pressure on the signal. So it's your birthday, is it? When it comes to birthdays, so are you telling us which one it is?
Pre-50s.
Pre-50s.
It's getting up there. I shouldn't say my real age because I want to work in the media. So I'm 30. I'm 28.
Okay. We'll wait for the signal to jump back in a sec. But so welcome along to He's Having a Birthday, but that's not actually what the show is. Welcome along to Comics in Quarantine, solving problems. The problem is, how is he having a birthday? And the entire show's now been dedicated to the fact that he's been alive for another year. Which actually, no, you're right. That is more of a claim than it used to be, thanks to all the issues to do with coronavirus. Hopefully we will get a bit more. The signal's gone right downhill at the moment. We've now got a frozen picture of you, Eric.
Can you hear me at least?
We could definitely hear you.
Oh, well, there you go. That's all you need.
Oh, there we go. I think you might be back.
Am I back? Wait, yeah. It's the hat. I'll give it the hat.
Mike Monera says happy birthday, Eric, as well. So wherever you are, you can send us some messages, and hopefully you can get in touch that way. Wherever you're watching it, you should be able to get some sort of a message to us. We'll answer your questions, and you can contribute if you enjoy any of this. Buy us a coffee. Actually, what do you want for your birthday? Do you want just a coffee? What you're asking for?
Just world peace, and coffee is nice. Coffee is nice. And, just being here with you, Steve, and all of our watchers and listeners is more than birthday present enough.
Right, moving on. Jump into some of the news. Okay. People with birthdays, it's truth. Like no one else has them. So we'll keep your messages coming through. I want to talk about, well, seeing as you managed to get yourself a crowd there, I want to talk about crowd news, because one of the things that's going to help us to get back to normal is having crowds again. It would help stand-up comedy, and it's sport that's leading the way. In South Korea, they found a way of managing to get people into their empty sports stadiums. I'm not into sports, I don't know what they're called. Football grounds, that might be it. And they did this. They used mannequins. But turns out they ended up using sex dolls instead of your standard shop mannequin. Now, actually, let's just go back to the picture. Why are the sex dolls social distancing? Because if you're a sex doll, you've caught whatever you're going to catch. Let's be honest, that is not the biggest problem in your life. Also, look, what's the problem with having sex dolls at a football stadium? Other sports ones, you don't want it, but this is football. And these are sex dolls. They are potential wife material for most of these players. But sex dolls they're not the only solution to this problem, thankfully. You can use other mannequins, as a shop in Virginia did, where they've filled half the tables with store mannequins dressed up to look like they're other people having their meals. I think the theory is that it would be too creepy being in a restaurant that's only half full. Why is that weirder than sitting in what looks like a remake of the House of Wax? That's absolutely terrifying. And also, they've done 50% occupancy with mannequins. You're aiming too low. If I was running a restaurant, I would do like 100% occupancy so that when people call up and say, "Hi, could I book a table?" No, I don't think you can, because we're so popular, we're all booked up for months. Bye. But the best solution to it has been from Germany, where their football started. They had, instead of mannequins or any of that lark, they had cardboard cutouts of people. You could pay to get a cardboard cutout of yourself sent to the sports ground. Now, they're missing a trick by only doing this with sports grounds, because it would be great to have a cardboard cutout of yourself sent to other places. There are so many events in life that I've been to, like, you know, a wedding of a friend of one of the exes, and you get dragged along. I would so rather send Cardboard Steve there instead. Yes, he would look like he's not enjoying it. He wouldn't really join in. So he'd be exactly like I looked. Why waste my time? So I started to look into it, made a cardboard cutout of myself, and now I start to regret it, because during lockdown, cardboard cutouts are freer than we are. They don't need to have any of the usual restrictions. They don't need to stay 2 meters away. They can go to better places than I have. So I've been trying to keep track of what my cardboard cutout's been up to. Oh, look at him. He's in a beer garden. He's having a great old time of it. Oh, and where else did he get to? He's in a Five Guys. Oh, I'd love a Five. He's ordering. I mean, it's expensive for just a burger, but he's having a great time. What did he do after that? He's on stage doing stand-up comedy.
At the Comedy Cellar.
How's he getting better gigs than me? He's not going to get a laugh out of that audience. I mean, that's a weak point. Neither am I, really. But then what did he do? He's at the Downing Street briefing. Oh, how is he one of the experts and I'm not? This cardboard cutout of me is just living my best life, and it's a little weird. What else has he been doing? He's been in the old fake taxi, has he? Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah, but he's got Bo Derek. He doesn't have Bo Derek.
Yeah, there you go. But I think you're overwhelming the stream with your level of Bo.
Yeah, she is. She does overwhelm my stream.
Oh dear. So Mike says there's a plus side to the lockdown is no clowns, the creepy kind. That's true. Yeah, at least we're keeping those out of it. But look, we need to get crowds and parties and all that back. By the way, Chris says, do you have a license for those legs? What was wrong with my cardboard cutout legs? I had to pose for that picture for ages just so I could.
I think that in the garden, it looked like you were floating above them in the pub. I think your imagery there is just not like you're descending down from the trees.
That's how I do it. So in other crowd news, what have you got for us?
Well, I mean, social distancing is important. Things you're trying to unlock was important. There was something that was happening today that people were queuing up for, and I think we've got footage of it here. And they're queuing by car, which is very socially responsible. And there it is. I'm slightly behind you, so I'm assuming that we're in the video now. But look at that. I mean, that's a lot of cars. Yeah. I mean, if you get to the...
Wow.
I don't know what they're queuing for.
It must be good. It
must be something
a new
really
iPhone
good.
or a Harry Potter and the Tale of Lockdown or something. What are they?
Maybe to see you at the Comedy Cellar, which is clearly in
Check,
in Sutton, where this
check
is.
those taxes.
But yeah, look at that. You see cars? I mean, that's just insane. And they're new. Uh, it's faith in humanity. Look at the other side of the road. Other side of the road is going in as well, but that side of the road, the queue wasn't as long. Those bastards are cutting in. I mean, it's one thing that these people are all going to McDonald's. It's another thing that they're not. Some people are cutting around, circling around.
Yeah, I don't mind obesity, but it's not queuing properly that really bothers me.
Oh boy,
Absolutely ridiculous.
that is bad. That is terrible. I have to say, before we go too far on, we've had a number of people do some lovely contributions through Ko-fi. So I'm trying to see some of the names here so we can thank people. Chaz has given a donation. Bless him, Chaz.
How you doing?
Chaz. Yay. Good. Thanks for watching, Chaz. Chris has donated again. He's a regular contributor, which is something you could do. Thank you, Chris, every time. There's been a couple more here. I'll find them in a second. But so thank you very much. For
Do you know what? We've got a few
our
messages
show.
for you as well. We've got, let's have a look. Mike says, come on, the money that you saved by not going to Edinburgh this year. Good point. Okay, we saved a bit of money, but, these shows aren't cheap. Mark Randall says, back in the 80s, inflatable women were quite popular to take to football matches in England. I'm sure they were. I don't want to know what you got up to. Darren says, did Eric manage to sell that Babe Ruth baseball? Good reference from, show 2.
Oh my God. It's kind of because I don't have any trousers on. But it's still there. So are you interested?
No. Look, so I know it's your birthday, and look, I feel I was joking at the start when I was like, "Oh, who cares if it's your birthday?" Because it's a lockdown birthday, and I don't want to make it seem like I am I don't want to make it seem like I'm some sort of grumpy, introverted, misanthropic, aloof, nasty person. I don't want to make it seem like that. I just am like that. But I thought I'd make an effort. So, seeing as it's, hang on, wait for it. See if I can.
You shouldn't have.
Get the candle.
Oh, look at that!
I blew it out as well.
I'm gonna cry.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric. Happy birthday to you. Yay.
Hey, I can't even. I did blow it out. It's just the time delay made
wish?
it look like
Make a
you
wish?
blew it out. That's what that was. Not to do this anymore. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
keep
Well,
it
you
to
can't.
myself.
I suppose you're not really here to have any of your birthday cake, are you? So, it'd be rude not to.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
oh, your birthday. I hope you're enjoying your birthday.
Oh. Oh, it looks good.
Mm. Oh, this is a great birthday cake that you're having.
It's really good. You just.
I know it would be rude of me to just eat your birthday cake and not give you any. So don't you worry.
Here's my cake.
Oh, that's from it.
Yeah.
Put it in a jiffy bag for you.
Oh,
It'll get through your letterbox.
good.
I'll be with you soon.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Eric.
I think, yeah. Thanks, Steve. I mean, let's not, when that comes, I'll just leave it outside for a few days in the sun to kill any extra virus off.
I only licked it.
I'll eat it.
So,
And touch the envelope quite a bit as well.
so if you'd like to donate to Eric's birthday fund, the link's at the bottom for buying us a coffee. I should have brought a drink in here as well. I didn't think of that. Well, I'd be eating during today's show.
Oh, here. I'll.
Yeah.
I'll sort that out.
Mike says, who knew that Steve could sing? Yeah, right.
You can't.
And inflatable bananas don't ask, says Mark.
Really?
It's getting really strange on the messages today, but you can keep the messages coming through. Meanwhile, I wanted to get us up to date with some foreign news, if I may, because this is news about Dutch singletons have been advised to seek a sex buddy. The theory is that what they don't want is singletons going around having random sex. It's another way of spreading the virus. Because, look, I'm not a sex expert, but you tend to be within 2 meters of someone when you're doing it. Tend to, depending on bushes. And they think it's good to find just one person that you regularly go to. You'll be minimizing the risk of spreading the disease. Which, I mean, good luck making that phone call I found it awkward enough asking someone if they wanted to be my person to meet in a park and have a drink. It was like, hi, do you fancy being my sex buddy? But I thought what we do is find out more about this. So hopefully the technology works. I should be joined on the line by a Dutch minister. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Well, thank you very much for joining me. I wonder if you could explain some of the thinking behind this.
Yes.
You would have been faced with a decision about priorities. Are you going to try and sort out problems to do with the economy?
Yes.
Sort out problems to do with, the care of the elderly?
Yes.
And you thought the thing to sort out was sex buddies.
For sure.
Did you not think that maybe you could just do without?
Oh, you British are so prudish when it comes to sex, Steve.
Can I just check? You're not doing a Sean Connery impression, are you? You are trying to sound Dutch.
Yes.
Okay, because sometimes it's difficult to tell. You've not been having random sex with people for a while now because of the coronavirus. You're about to get this freedom back. Are you worried about spreading it?
No, I've been staying supple, and I'll stretch first.
It's not quite... Do you know what? Actually, it sounds like you got it under control. Good luck to you. Sex buddies during lockdown. Where do I sign up?
I'm sorry, Steve, you can't apply.
Well, I checked your website. It doesn't actually say that you're not allowing foreigners.
No, I mean you can't apply, Steve. We may be sex-crazed, but we still have standards.
Thank you very much for joining me. That's the latest from that one.
Well, maybe, Steve, if you don't work out with the Dutch, maybe you could become a footballer and get one of those football wives.
They don't talk much, but neither do I. Fine.
Okay. Yep. Well, just to why I have Dutch. There's also for the next. If you're, I think that was an incredible segue. Linking those stories together. Things, and just so that I know, I can't tell. Look like.
The hearing just got slightly worse because that started to break up as well.
Yeah. Well, basically, I'm going to give a brief update on what's happening. Hopefully we can get through this. Because there's been concerns with the election about how we'll vote safely if coronavirus comes back in the autumn. I mean, it hasn't gone away yet. I mean, Donald Trump says it has, but, And so one solution is to vote by mail. Now, this is called two different things in America. Or mail-in voting. I mean, I've been reading about it on American news all day today. So what here? Absentee voting?
Postal vote.
Postal vote, of course, yeah. So in America, it's either mail-in voting or vote by mail. Now, these two things are very different. When you receive a ballot in the mail and then you send it back, and in the other, you get a ballot in the mail and you send it back, but you're poor or black, in which case it's a bad thing. So it's important to know the difference here. Now, Donald Trump's been very about this. This is one of his here, up there. Absentee ballots are a great way to vote for the many senior citizens, military, and others who can't get to the polls on election day. So that's a good thing. Absentee ballot. These ballots are very different from the 100% of the other vote-in ballots that aren't as good. I can't see now.
But the president himself has voted.
Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want, and we can make it happen. Give me the words.
There we go. Made it very clear that the mail-in voting is a bad thing, and this is why. And there's a clip from the press.
Noted
press
concerns
secretary.
about a lot of fraud that is potentially at play when you have mass mail-in voting. So with regard.
Okay.
So potential fraud with that, it's not a good thing. Now the thing is that Trump wants to stop that fraud, doesn't he? Right? He wants to stop it. However, the thing is, because he's stuck in some dumb White House, he's been voting by mail himself because he resides in Florida technically. So why is it that he can do it? And I think we have next a video clip.
But the president himself has voted just 2 months ago by a mail-in ballot. There are several Republican states that are also doing these mail-in applications for ballots. And so I'm confused. What is it that he thinks is illegal that's happening in Michigan? He doesn't really specify. So first, with regard to the president doing a mail-in vote, the president is, after all, the president.
Yeah.
Point.
pretty good logic, isn't it? So Trump can do it because he's the president. So the president can do something because he's the president. He can. So what about this concern? Is it true, that there's a lot of fraud with these mail-in ballots? Well, according to factcheck.org, no. There is no truth to this whatsoever. It's just not something at all that happens. It's not a concern at all, but it's something he should be able to do. And so Trump is telling people, basically, voting by mail is bad, and make it, even though it's common, and it might be the only way for people to vote. But also, the thing is if he keeps telling people that this is a bad way to vote, but more and more states are doing it, it's going to be tricky for his base to vote for him. And this is a tricky position for the Republican Party because they want to tell people how bad this is because they're scared of people not voting for them, but they still don't want to miss out. And so they sent out this incredible flyer, which we have here. The very top of them says they want to make sure their supporters will never support universal vote by mail. And then underneath that says, here's your way to vote by mail.
Nice.
Does that seem confusing to you,
Yes,
Steve?
in all the ways, all at once, yeah.
It's incredible. And if you think it's confusing, mixed messages, it doesn't matter because this is Trump and he's the one doing it. So he can vote mail. So why? It's good. He can profit from being in office and it's good. If he's Trump, he can fancy his own daughter. And let's be honest, it's creepy. But if you've seen Ivanka, it's good. And if you think that's bad, don't worry about it. After all, our final clip.
The president is, after all, the president.
Good point, well made. Yes, indeed.
Can't argue with that.
Solid logic there. If you'd like to send messages, let's have a look. Mark Randall says lol, but we don't know to which bit, but at least we got one out of him. That's nothing wrong with that.
Any other lols are
Anthony
good.
says, you think asking is awkward about asking someone to be your sex buddy? Try telling the other person you've already agreed with someone else. Keep the messages coming through. Darren offers you £2.76 for the baseball. Interesting stuff.
Wow, we'll think about that. But also, while he's done that, Eleanor has contributed, as has Anthony. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate
Like to get us a coffee. You very much can do. The link is at the bottom. Keep those messages coming. Let's talk the economy. Now, I think I'm trying to bring good news to these shows, and one of them is that things are starting to get back to normal if we're looking at EasyJet. They're going to resume flights next month with strict face mask rules. The reason they've got these face mask rules in is nothing to do with coronavirus, actually. It's that if you're an EasyJet customer, all of your personal information has been hacked. So the only way to stay vaguely private is to cover your face. But I do think that trying to use a face mask on a plane, it will ruin their business model. Because I think, I only did a little bit of economics at university, but their business model is based on charge people £2.20 for a flight, but £17.50 for a bottle of water. But you can't drink and eat when you're wearing a mask, so no one's going to take the expensive things. It's going to be the bottom of the market falling out for EasyJet, unless someone can invent a face mask where you can still eat at the same time. I'm about to play you now a clip of a man who can do this. Warning, some people, including me, may find the next bit of footage disturbing. Oh, kind of evil is it? It's got a little hand thing that opens it up. Oh, it's like an alien. It's got that is all kinds of wrong, isn't it?
Wow.
But
combined with the sex doll?
Oh,
Ow.
the theory is that you don't want to end up touching your face to move the mask to eat, because touching your face might be part of the problem. But the first part of that video, he had like certificates behind him. He's probably some kind of clever inventor, and that might be an expensive mask. Now, here on Comics in Quarantine Solving Problems, we like to try and help out without breaking the bank. So, just using things that I found around the house, I've made my own. Now, what you need is... I can send it to you afterwards, after I've had it around my face for a while. This is just using, like a dishcloth thing. I've ironed it. You can still smell the bleach, but as we know, the bleach will kill coronavirus in 1 minute. So what you do is I've used shoelaces for the attachments on the side, and then there you go. It's just a face mask. Walking around, just having fun times with a face mask. But what happens when I want to eat? What's this little string down the bottom? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
I feel like you're
What's
flashing
that?
me.
Steve bought 2 cakes for Eric. I guess he'll just have to. Might eat the other one.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Eric.
bastard.
Does it work? Do you know what? I think we could sell these.
Gross.
Chris Curling says, "Don't these masks come from the same shop as the sex dolls?" Probably. Yeah. So if you'd like to order one of these,
Here.
so yeah, you can, if you buy us a coffee, we could send you one of these. To say it is impregnated with bleach, probably for the best. I'll pop that in the envelope with you.
I think. Thanks. I think we're gonna have to this from a Ko-fi page to a Kickstarter page.
There you go, Eric.
Get this stuff. That's good because it'll just be in there with the chocolate cake.
Makes it look like it's used. Just nothing with a little bit of chocolate smeared all over your face mask. What else could people worry about? Sharon says flaptastic, which I'm amazed that phrase got through the filter for rude words. Which
Oh dear.
Looks like a mouth on the Planet of the Apes. Oh yeah, the mouth of the guy looking like that. Keep the messages coming through, and if you'd like to contribute to, as you say, the Kickstarter, the Patreon, go for the Ko-fi. It's a lot easier. It stops us inventing things.
We've got that set up.
Yeah. All right, 4 minutes left. What else are we dealing with?
Talking about some NHS, which is very important. I hope you went out for a care.
Yes, I did a brief one because I was making a mask.
I gave a clap. I can. This is breaking news about the NHS workers don't have to pay for their health service anymore. Apparently, they were going to get charged to use the NHS because they're foreigners, but they're working in healthcare and taking care of us. So apparently, there was a bit of a kerfuffle about them paying for that service. Now, I mean, I'm here as a naturalized British
Shakespeare.
and I think that these people should pay. I mean, they're some of the only people who actually still have their jobs.
No.
So I don't understand what this is all. I think this is a terrible climb down. We haven't renewed self-employment support. I'm currently employed because I'm begging people for my birthday on an internet. And these raking it in the health pay for
The
come on,
look, it's a brave position to take. Even Boris Johnson backed down on this one because these are the people saving lives, and you think that they should have to. They work in the NHS.
yeah, that's because that Kiwi nurse got to it.
They work in the NHS. They shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to pay for the NHS because that's where they work, and we all nick things from work. Most of the paper that I've got around there for the photocopier, I didn't buy it. Took it from work. Everyone was out there stockpiling toilet roll. Nick some from work.
I bet those same people managed to be able to get themselves a test, COVID-19. I can't get a test. I bet they've gotten tests left and right center.
Yeah,
because they're genuinely sick.
Yeah, and also that was the news today as well, that the antibody test will be free on the NHS with care workers and NHS workers first. Which, again, look, I'm all for them getting free stuff. I'm not clapping for people who should then have to pay for stuff. In fact, if we could give them more free stuff and I could half my clapping time, it would really help my arms. But I'm not really sure if there's any point in this test because they're trying to work out if we've got antibodies or not. But then the scientists aren't saying that having antibodies means you're immune. And my question to the human body is, why are you making antibodies if it's not useful, if there's no immunity from it? What, is this just a souvenir? Oh, let's all remember 2020. We're making some fun antibodies, like a fridge magnet from a holiday. But yeah. I like our nurses. I like our care staff. Tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess the foreign nurses are right.
Tomorrow I'm heading up north because I'm going to stand outside a window to wave at my dad before driving back down again. So because it's his birthday tomorrow, and I'm not going to take a cake up there and eat it in front of him. Kind of an arse would do that. But there's an example of some nurses in foreign countries that I don't want us to follow. I don't know if you saw this picture of a nurse in Russia who was too hot under her PPE. Uniform and PPE, she was too hot. One of them had to go, and it can't be the PPE. She got rid of a uniform. The trouble is, That PPE was see-through. Oh dear.
I mean,
What?
look at that. I mean, the guy in the background doesn't look like he minds.
The guy in the background is exactly the reason why we don't want to see this over here. Because what we need to make, I was staying in to protect the NHS to save lives. And part of protecting the NHS is getting people to go home after they've been ill. And there is no way that guy in the back is leaving, is he? They'll be like, how are you feeling today? Yeah. Oh, I still feel a bit peaky. Could probably do with another week or so. And while I'm at it, pass me my glasses. So, yeah, we can't have that.
I think I know what I want for my birthday now.
A wipe clean nurse. Okay.
Yeah.
All those shows. Okay. Well, we're coming to the end of it. Some more messages. Mark says, flapping marvellous.
Nice, I like that.
Is that a comment about the face mask or the nurse? I don't want to know. Any more messages you got your end?
We got another lovely contribution from Megalee. So thank you very much, Megalee. We appreciate that, and it means that it gives me the hope to have another birthday. Yeah, and work on a better internet connection, or maybe it's the hat. It couldn't have been the hat.
I think, maybe there was a lot of data being all used right at the start. It did, because just before we clicked go live, we were doing all right. I also have, we weren't paying attention to Twitter. Some of the messages coming through on here. Let's have a look. Stephen Leatherdale says, well, officer, I was enjoying my pint when a giant cardboard comedian invaded the beer garden. What? What do you mean giant? It was adequately proportioned. Let's have a look. What else we got going on?
Someone has suggested a name for your face mask. The crotchless face mask. So,
does that mean you're implying that my mouth is a? You know what? We'll leave that there.
Well, you do have a little bit of the hair. Never mind. And someone else has offered to help us buy followers and viewers if we click on their website. So that's good. Hey, if bots are watching the show, you can still contribute to Ko-fi. Bots still have jobs.
Because normally after the show I spend some time replying to the odd people and going on all the different places where this has been. It's going to be a nightmare because we've been talking about sex dolls. So the number of bots and spam things I'm going to have to swim through. Even Chris Curlin's just said, sex doll. We wanted a catchphrase, but we didn't want it to be that.
No, not that. Not yet. Give us another month in quarantine.
Darren says, okay, you're playing hardball, £4.19. I think he's after your baseball, not after my crotchless mouth.
I mean, it was fake signed by Babe Ruth by my father-in-law, who's now passed. So you're going to have to go at least at £5.50.
If you'd like to send messages while we're off, you can track us down on social media. On Twitter, I'm at Mr. Stephen Allen. He is...
And I'm at Erich McElroy, and we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock time in the UK, or whatever time where you are.
Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your week. Stay safe and all that. We'll see you next Tuesday. Till then, bye.